What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Ring Report. Myself, Mekz, joined alongside by the boy, Dell. And we have a lot to talk about. This week has been a very interesting week. I feel like we've got some really good angles. It looks like we're kind of moving towards some productive stuff happening. The John Cena tournament, the Last Time Is Now tournament to see who's going to face John Cena. That's kicking off fairly soon. We've got some, I guess, a debut of some sorts onto SmackDown, freshening up the women's division on SmackDown. Lash Legend is moved over there. We have some misdemeanors in the workplace. Nixon, Newell, and her partner Miranda Alize. Yeah, didn't really make the best impression in AEW. So we've got this and more all to get into today. But Dell, how have you seen the activities of this past week, and how you doing, my bro?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Do you know what? I'm not in trouble at my workplace, so that's the main thing for me. I'm not going to be losing my job anytime soon. But yeah, man, it's been an up and down week in terms of wrestling news. There's been some positive news. There's been some negative news. So yeah, bro, excited to get straight into it. To be honest with you.
Yeah, there's been a lot to talk about, and like I said, there's been some interesting stuff across the board from WWE and AEW, things to get the people talking. So yeah, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. You can catch this podcast as well on your podcast platform of choice, whether that's Apple, whether that's Spotify, Amazon, all of those usual places. So yeah, if you want to listen back, you can do on those places. But yeah, Del, where do you want to get started?
I don't know how many times we can go over this John Cena final run, this John Cena final opponent, but yeah, I think we've got to go back to it just because there seems to be once again more rumors circulating, more names being thrown around, and the one question I wanted to raise, Mekz, is because this is something that split my group chat, right? Do you think it needs to be a veteran superstar to sort of give us that nostalgia send off, or do you think it needs to be a younger superstar to sort of put them on the pedestal to build them into the next big megastar that WWE, and to be honest with you, are really crying out for at the moment?
Well, this is the conversation because obviously we've heard the names of people throwing around the Edge and the Chris Jericho and all of those kind of people. And it's like, even in the promo, John Cena said, like, I want to give someone the opportunity, how I took the opportunity. So do those men need an opportunity? The Edge and Chris Jericho, the people that have been wrestling before John Cena. Like there's people that could do with it that are a bit older, names like the Gunthers and LA Knights that have been mentioned. But I do think we need to go younger than that. I definitely feel we have a concerning case when it comes to the men's division in maybe 4 to 5 years time. Like we see John Cena stepping away. AJ steps away next year, right? Chris Jericho, when he returns, if he returns, he will be stepping away fairly soon. You have to start looking at some of these younger guys and giving them an opportunity. So when it comes to the whole talk around a veteran and a younger guy, I just don't see how it would be a veteran, especially this being the stage. If the stage for his final match was at WrestleMania, and for one last time under the lights, you want to do John Cena CM Punk, or you want to do John Cena Randy Orton, even John Cena Lesnar, I would get it a bit more. But Saturday night main event, like if this is where you've chosen to do it, like we need to give this to like a little shitty upstart that is gonna brag about this for the rest of his life. And it's down to WWE to make this make sense for that person, because we've seen an Austin Theory beat John Cena before and it came to nothing, just like John Cena told him this is going to come to nothing, and yeah, it came to pass. Like, so if we give this to like a Braun Breaker, Trick Williams, or someone like that, some cocky little piece of crap, like that can go on about this for the rest of his career, because WWE have booked him well, so he can go on about it for the rest of his career, and it actually means something, then 100% it should be a young man that wins this, 9 times out of 10. Like, has to be.
Yeah, the thing is that in terms of like the younger people, I think there's so many names that could be thrown into the hat. But when it comes to veterans, the only one name I'm going to be honest, I'd even want it to be is Edge, just because of how much they did for each other in their careers. And I think if I don't think Cena becomes a superstar he becomes without the run against Edge and vice versa. I feel like they both put each other on such a pedestal in terms of storytelling.
Mm.
But when you look at the younger superstars, I like the names of your Tricks, your Bron Breakers. I'm even looking. I know it sounds crazy, but even someone like a Grayson Waller, like just needs that moment that can really. And I think if we want to talk about like you're saying cocky piece of shit, like that is Grayson Waller, and I think it would do so great for his career. And I think he's someone who he's really started to show his personality a lot more behind the scenes in interviews. We saw the Chris Van Vliet stuff and I think if you want to put someone on a pedestal that's really going to cement the next, like you said, the next 5 years of their career, um, I'd want it to be a younger superstar. But what I don't want it to be is, like you said, like with how they did with Theory, it's like it came to absolutely nothing.
Mm.
Like there needs to be like people joke about like superstars going missing in matches. Like I haven't seen like a single thing about Theory in months. Like, and it keeps being rumored he's going to join the Vision and then he's going to do this, and it's just like all of these rumors circulate because fans want these superstars to get their chance, and it ends up coming to nothing. So I think if you're going to give it to a younger superstar, if I had to pick one, I'd actually go Trick Williams.
Yeah.
Just because I heard you speak about him on the wrestling podcast recently, and how he's going to be that next superstar for WWE. What better way to do it than to have him face John Cena? If you want to call him up to the main roster, what better way than to have him entered into the tournament, win his way through the tournament in a heelish manner, and ends up facing John Cena in his final match? You have then built yourself a very hateable hill. And I think that's what needs to be done here is something which WWE have struggled to do over recent years is build a great hill. Is they build a great hill and then they start getting cheered, e.g. a Dom Mysterio, when they're now being forced to try and push this hatred down our throats. And it's not really been working. So I think if you want to build a perfect hill, what better way than to have him like stumble and cheat his way through the John Cena retirement tournament, as I like to be calling it. So yeah, and I think that's the sad thing here.
Yeah, no, I 100% hear it. Like, even if he cheated to win and John Cena gets his heat back, gives him a FU to end after the bell and stuff like that, and the crowd can send him home happy, cheering him or whatever, I think that's absolutely fine. I think the issue that this tournament has proposed is that, like you mentioned, someone like Edge, that because of their storied history, it would be a great candidate. The issue now is we have a tournament. So Edge has to enter that tournament in the first round. And then the surprise factor of it being Edge versus John Cena on Saturday Night Main Event, December 13th, is gone. Because Edge has had to wrestle 3-4 matches already before he gets to John Cena. So if they kept it just as a open challenge on the night, John Cena, he's going to walk into the middle of the ring and someone is going to come out and face him, then we are cooking. We are absolutely cooking like gas mark 6. Then you could say it's your Jericho's, it's your Edges, and it's all these other, fantasy names and stuff like that. The fact this is a tournament, I mean, it really reduces that level of surprise for me. Unless you get something like, I don't know, The Miz wins the tournament, and then on the night, some mysterious person has taken him out backstage. Who could it be? Edge. And he's just going to take the spot. That's the only way you do that.
The ultimate opportunist, man, as they like to call him, right?
Yeah. That's the only way you do this at this point. But right now, I think it's a run-of-the-mill name. And I don't mean that disrespectfully. I just mean it in terms of it's going to be someone we know and expect and stuff like that. Because even some of the names that I'm hearing, I'm not blown away by.
Even the matchups in the tournament, man, when the first batch of matchups, do you know what it's like? It's like when that should, in the nicest way, the last people being picked in PE. That's what it felt like. It just like it was yeah. Sorry to send you creasing on that one, bro. But it's just like you're down to your city. Like injuries have hit the club bad. Like it's your own football manager. You're calling people up from the old guys up from the reserves. Do you know what I'm saying? And I think like that's no disrespect to people like Shinsuke and Damian Priest, because they're people who I'm a great fan of. But we're talking about John Cena's final match.
This is it.
And the matchups that got announced. I was like, great.
bro.
No one cares.
We've got 8 names. I'm just reading the 8 names that are currently in the Tumblr for sure. Out of 16, Sheamus, Shinsuke Nakamura, Damian Priest, Rusev, Jey Uso, The Miz, LA Knight, and R-Truth. There isn't one exciting name there to look forward to.
And I think that's the problem here. That is the biggest problem that we have. The one thing I wanted to ask you, Mekz, is who do you think this person is that is from another company? Because they're not talking about from another brand. They're talking about from another company entirely. And if I see Joe Hendry, I will lose my shit, but not in a good way. I'm not a big Joe Hendry fan. I'm way part like I was over it. I was over it ages ago. Like it was funny for like a month. So I think if you're going to be building this entire tournament for Joe Hendry to come and do his spin around in the ring, like he had a big moment to face Randy Orton at WrestleMania,
massive,
moment. And I think a lot of people, like for me, I was hoping that was Aleister Black, but obviously Joe Hendry did great for their social media. But yeah, man, if I hear Joe Hendry's music drop, I'm going to be so disappointed. Do you know what would be great? And I think it would be perfect if Joe Hendry wins the tournament and Edge attacks him. That would be perfect. Yeah, that would be like the cherry on top of it all, because it would be like it would annoy me to the point where I think Joe Hendry is about to be John Cena's final opponent.
Yeah,
but then we're now at a time when Joe Hendry gets attacked, which I will cheer for every time.
Yeah, I to be honest, I actually think that would be so harsh on Joe Hendry, because he's had this whole campaign that he's manifested that he's going to face John Cena before he retires, which frightens me, because I 100% feel like Joe Hendry is going to be a name that's in the hat. The other one is Matt Cardona. I feel like, again, his name will be in the hat. Better than those two that would excite the tournament, bring the tournament to life, would make sense somewhat, would be Jeff Hardy. He's someone that they could reach out to, and I'm far more interested, even if it's in a one-off match where he loses to someone, say some upcomer, like he lost to Dominic Mysterio, lost to Carmelo Hayes first round of the tournament. I would rather see Jeff Hardy in that spot rather than a Matt Cardona or a Joe Hendry.
Yeah, I don't want to see that. Yeah. And now, you know me, man, I'm a big Jeff Hardy fan. So
yeah,
08 Jeff Hardy fed us like during probably one of the worst eras of wrestling for me. So I think Jeff Hardy's a great shout as well, because they had their paths crossed various times in different ways. So I think this would almost be like, we've seen the Hardys have their send off as a tag team in NXT. They won the NXT tag team title. So I think the Hardys would be a great name to sort of add to the list. I think, does it need to be a call-up? Does it need to be someone like you? Does it need to be a Trick Williams? I think
there needs to be call-ups amongst it. So we've obviously just named 8 names of just bog standard names that are already on the main roster, right? These next 8 names, I would say 2 of them maybe need to be talent from outside. So that leaves us with 6. I would say maybe 2 of them need to be NXT talents.
Who do you think the NXT talents need to be?
Obafemi and Trick Williams.
Yeah, that's that. I think if your answer is any different than those, you've not been watching the product. Yeah,
it's as simple as that. Those 2, and then the last 4 can be like existing young men on the roster: a Dom Mysterio, a Carmelo Hayes, a Grayson Waller, Bron Breakker, maybe if he's not involved in other stuff. Like 4 young men from the current roster, 2 young men in NXT, and then 2 guys from wherever you find them in TNA or elsewhere. And then it's your 8 over there. You've already got 8 already done. I think that's the only way, because right now on paper, this tournament does not look exciting.
Yeah, it looks very mediocre. But we can go through this Cena thing for hours on end. I think this might be the 4th episode we've discussed these final.
We will, don't worry. We're racking those hours up.
Yeah. But if you had to pick one name, Mekz, just one name for you, who would you like it to be? Whether it's person inside the company, person outside. If you had to pick one name that would, it doesn't even have to make sense. If you were in that booking room and you had the pen and the pad in your hand, which name are you putting on there?
I think Trick Williams.
Yeah,
because Trick Williams could win a tournament. I mean, he's already got credentials behind him, being the only man to ever be on the WWE contract and become a TNA World Champion.
Mm.
Um, Along with obviously all his NXT accolades anyway. Like, I think he's got the credibility to do something like that. Um, and I think it's just one of them things where you just have to trust the process. I think he's just one of these people that you just have to back. If he goes and beats John Cena, right? Or he's the final match, he beats John Cena, and then he can go after, say, Cody, let's say, he can lose to Cody, but then fall down and then maybe win a US title, and then
Mm.
he's set. His road is paved on the main roster. So you have to think of people and names that, like we say, is going to benefit, can really do something from. And there's enough kind of elder statesmen, respectable elder statesmen in the tournament, like we mentioned, that he could beat. Like, if I get the list up again, someone like Trick Williams could beat a Nakamura. He
Mm.
could beat a The Miz. He could beat The Miz. He could beat a Jey Uso. And to be honest, it's a tournament. He only needs to beat about three names to get to the final to win it or
Yeah.
whatever. So yeah, you could feed him two or three of those names already, and he's there. So for sure, that's my pick. What
But
about you?
if something is just telling me Dom Mysterio, and I would love it to be Dom Mysterio, just
Mm.
because I think it would then allow him to build into, like, can you were saying it earlier about how egotistical it would make someone who would never let go of it for the rest of their career. Can you imagine the heat that Dom Mysterio would get from
Yeah.
cheating to win against John Cena? But then the problem is if you choose Dom Mysterio, I don't think he gets booed if he wins. And I think that's the problem is that we're facing with now, because he's so over. I think it's
Yeah.
almost like taking his name out of the hat. But yeah, man, I'd love for it to be Dom Mysterio. I think he's someone who would benefit greatly from it. I think, like you said, it doesn't need to be someone who's going to beat John Cena and then become the next world champion. So I think, yeah, Dom Mysterio would be a great shout for me. But yeah, I think Trick or Dom would be great shouts. But there's been some NXT call-ups in recent months, and there's been some NXT call-ups this week. The first one we have to mention, of course, and the only one I think we need to mention, Lash Legend finally gets a call up to the main roster, in a great spot as well. What was your first reaction when you saw it, Mekz?
Yeah, I was excited because although I guess those of us that are watching NXT, that it did cross my mind immediately. Her and Nia Jax have literally just fought in the last couple of months, and yeah, why are they now taking the same side? But I think Lash Legend is someone that they have absolutely spun their wheels with. So they got rid of Metaphor, her faction, maybe back in the summer, just before the summer,
Mm.
and she has done next to nothing since then. Like, and it's like, well, they got rid of Ori Mensah, they got rid of Jakara Jackson, Noam Dar got injured, so it's just her. We'd seen her have a single spots in her tag team with Jakara Jackson, and I thought they're gonna strap the rocket to her. They got rid of everyone. They're keeping her. They're gonna strap the rocket to her, and they just haven't. And then the last time we saw her on NXT TV, she was being pinned by the Evolve Women's Champion.
Mm.
Now, Kendall Gray is brilliant. I think Kendall Gray is going to be an absolute star in this business, yeah.
Yeah,
But there is no way on earth your Evolve Women's Champion should be beating someone like Lash Legend.
yeah,
And they decided to do that, and that must have clearly just been Lash doing them a favor before she evaporates to the main roster, which has
yeah.
proven to be the case. Thank God it wasn't like a detrimental loss or anything like that. But yeah, I think this is really good. This is where she's be. I think you could see they gave her the mic backstage on SmackDown, and she was just at home. She was just absolutely at home. She didn't look like someone that came from NXT. Well polished, very confident. Um, with Nia Jax, who is again very cocky, arrogant. I think it's a good pairing. If those two go after like a women's tag gold, I think that could be fairly believable if they go on and win it. But it's just more exciting to see names start getting filtered through of people that they need up there. I'm still wondering what the likes of Jordan Grace is doing in NXT. But
Yeah.
I think Lash Legend is definitely someone that showed promise that they've stalled on, but now it's like all guns blazing.
Yeah, and I think our call up spot was great because it was like, if you want to put yourselves into a sort of run against any woman that's going to put you on a pedestal, like, I'm not Charlotte Flair's biggest fan, but if you want to put yourselves into a spot where you're going to put the limelight directly onto you, Alexa Bliss is very over with her fans and has been for a number of years,
Yeah.
and I think Charlotte is the perfect first rivalry for them as well, and I think if I'm booking it, I'd book them to become women's tag team champions. If you are really serious about building Lash Legend to become a future star on the main roster, give them the tag team titles because it's believable. Like
Yeah.
most of the women are very small, and like if you were to say to me like Lash Legend boxed up the entire women's roster, like believable. It's like we've said it about Brock Lesnar time and time before. Like
Yeah.
it is believable. And I think it's just a great way for her to get called up because I think someone like Nia is great to pair her with because, like you said, they're faced off previously, but then it also opens a door for a turn from one of them down the line that's going to end up causing them. That's going to bring in, a lot of what's the way to say it? It just gives a lot of opportunity for them to build Lash Legend a lot more because I
There's a lot of
think the biggest,
mileage.
there is a lot of mileage with their story, and I think even the way in which the Kabuki Warriors are sort of like involved with Charlotte and Alexa still, like, which I thought was a great spot, like the Doctor and that Asuka tried to play, and I think that like they are two great teams for them to be involved with, and I think if you're going to put these women coming up to the main roster in the ring with any four people, I feel like the four people across those two tag teams and the best possible people you could put them in with. Like, but what I don't want this to be is she gets called up to the main roster a month, 6 weeks down the line, Nia Jax turns on her, and then goes straight into obscurity all over again. Because what we don't want to do, and I think WWE failed to call people up and really cement them on the main roster a lot in recent years. So I don't want it to be rushed. She doesn't need to be, pushed to the moon straight away, but just give it a gradual build, give them the tag team titles and see what they can do with it. Because like you said, that promo backstage, there's not many, I'm not just saying that, I don't think there's many women on the roster that can match her up from a promo perspective. So it's like they're talking about this product, like the product of WWE being very modern and about storytelling. You can't tell stories without promos. So I think if you want to tell stories, Lash Legend is perfect. And yeah, I think her and I can't wait for her and Charlotte to face off because I think that's going to be a very exciting match to watch.
Well, Charlotte, I'll bring her up in a sec, but I feel like I made a video maybe earlier this year about how Lash Legend is the real Jade Cargill. And
Yeah.
I still kind of stand by that. And what I meant by that when I made that video, it was basically saying how what I believe the WWE thought they were getting from Jade Cargill, or thought Jade Cargill would be, is everything Lash Legend currently is. An athlete, someone that can move in the ring, big, strong, domineering, cuts good promos, can rile up the crowd. And clearly, obviously now, Jade Cargill, they've pushed that button. Jade Cargill's a heel. We're already seeing some better performances from her as a heel. But I have a lot of stock in Lash Legend. I honestly think like she is going to be a big player in this division, sort of thing. Honestly, her confidence when they passed her the mic in that promo, you could say it's a little thing. Obviously, all she said is that, yeah, I'm Lash Legend, blah blah blah. This is what I'm here to do. But it's kind of like the confidence and swagger about it. And there's another name I'm going to name here, which excites me because with Lash Legend officially moving to the main roster, Trick Williams isn't too far behind. For those that know, they're an item, they're together, and WWE tend to keep their couples together on the same show. Trick Williams is coming to SmackDown. It's basically confirmed. It's a matter of when. And we've literally in this podcast today, we've talked about the charisma that just oozes from Trick Williams. I'm not saying that she never had no charisma before they started dating, but you can see it's one in the same. You can see they're under one household, like in terms of the charisma and stuff like that. So I just feel like, you know, even from if you look at this as a from an acting casting point of view, she looks very different to a lot of women in that roster. You know, we have the kind of smaller, quicker athletes and stuff like that in the EO and the Bianca Belair and stuff like that. We have the tall, strong ones in a Charlotte Flair, I guess, in a Rhea Ripley and stuff like that. She is physically big as well as tall, being an ex WNBA player. Like, she fits a criteria that they can't just kind of plug out and replace very easily, you know, as well as having the charisma. So, you know, there's a lot of good going for her right now. In regards to Charlotte Flair, I think they can tell a really good story, and they need to, with Charlotte Flair and Jade Cargill. Jade, what's her face? Lash Legend's involvement in this should be as far as just taking the title away from Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, and that kind of splits Charlotte's attention. But I like the whole Jade coming, you know, these girls coming out when Jade was still making her exit, them crossing paths, and Alexa almost telling Charlotte, focus, sort of thing. Because as much as we know this friendship is ongoing with these two, Charlotte and Alexa, that is, Charlotte is still the 14-time women's champion. And if she sniffs gold, she wants gold. And I like a budding story of Alexa trying to keeping her focus over here. Charlotte's focus is elsewhere with Jade. And that's when the Lash Legend and Nia Jax come in and swoop and take the women's tag title. So there's a lot of good stuff happening there. There's a lot of moving pieces that you just mentioned. And like I said, Trick turning up on SmackDown for me right now is inevitable. So yeah, but I just think, like you're saying, we cannot be bringing these men and women up to main roster without a plan. There should almost be a rule, like if you're moving someone up to the main roster, put 6 weeks of booking in their hand, like 6 weeks of script and the plan, like in their hand before they even get there, because we've seen too many people just tick the box of, oh, I'm on the main roster, but we don't actually see them on TV.
Yeah, and I think we can go around it all day, but I think if you're looking in the long-term booking for it, I think Charlotte versus Jade has to be very, very much top of their priority list. And it was great for them to tease it in the way they did. It's something new for them to do. But something else to talk about this week, moving away from the WWE side of things, Mekz. AEW have announced another title. Your face, for those of you that will be listening and not watching, Mex's face said 1,000 words, man.
It's crazy.
So one question that I have to ask you, Mekz, is this title officially too many titles that AEW have?
Like, the last title was too many titles. The title before that was too many titles. We just are where we are at this point. So this is the national championship. The thing is, right? No, we say this about AEW a lot, but WWE have a lot of titles as well. Like, I don't even know why WWE have 2 tag team titles. They should just have one, like the women's does, and just let the person travel. But I know, because just the amount of programming and stuff like that, all of these companies feel like they need all of these titles. If these companies were booking each of these titles properly, I don't think we would complain that there's too many titles. But the issue is the booking of the titles and dropping the ball of the titles and stuff like that. With this one, my issue is you've got a national title, you've got it's not international anymore. What did they change the name to? No, it is the international title.
Yeah.
It was All Atlantic before. It was All Atlantic before. Yeah. So they've got a national title. You've got an international title. You've got the unified title. Of course, you've got the world title. I'm just trying to think of the other ones in the mid card. The unified title is the one that Okada has, but it's a mixture of 2 belts or something like that. You've got the TNT title in the mid card, the men's mid card as well. Why have we got 4 mid card titles? 4. Are we deep in what we're doing here? Like, and
how do you differentiate each title as well, like in terms of importance? I think that's my biggest problem of all. Like, in WWE, you have the Intercontinental and you go up to the world title. I think that's the biggest problem is that we're now at a point where we're looking at you have 4 mid-card titles. Which one's the most important?
Right? Like, and they all behave in the same way. Like, I know a lot of fans when we had the All Atlantic title, and Pac was the inaugural champion. A lot of fans wanted him to go to other indies and defend them, other territories and around the world and stuff like that. And then they moved to the international title. Same kind of premise. Like, if it's an international title, take it around the world. That's the way to get the mid card bubbling, and at least you can, you know, mesh the indies and the AEW, which is the obviously the big promotion. But they never done any of these things. The TNT title, which is their like TV title, if you like, is largely not defended on TNT, which is the channel. Like, at least have that on your main show. Like, it should be, if anything, the world title of that show. You know, like the big title over there. The unified title, which I can't remember. Was it the Continental? Does the Continental Classic has a belt? Like, I can't even remember at this point. So that's the one. I think that's the one. The Continental title, correct? So that's the one they unified with the international title to make the unified title. And it's just like right now that belt looks important because Okada has it. But I think the minute Okada don't have that belt no more, it just becomes another one of these 4. Like you said in WWE, there's a US title and then a world title on SmackDown. There's the WWE US title, and then you've got the Undisputed Championship. There's an Intercontinental title on Raw, and then you've got the World Heavyweight Championship. Done.
Yeah.
But this show that has less hours of programming than WWE has 4 mid-card titles. And I saw Ricochet say that, you know, it's a good thing because there's a lot of talent and stuff. Well, what does it mean if everyone has a belt?
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
It's not important no more.
Yeah, like, I just don't understand. Like, if you know, you walk into a castle and everyone has a crown, who's the king? How do you defend?
It's true. Do you know, TK's? I think he's booking himself into a corner with this one because I think they're going to have to start dropping some of these titles, which then in the long run means that these title runs end up meaning less. And I think that's the sad thing. It's just like you're saying with Okada. Once he drops that title, no one is going to care about that title because then it's like, do you know what it's like? It's like, you know, like you're a father, Mekz. You know, your kid gets a new toy, yeah, and then the next toy that comes in is their new favorite one. And then the next set that comes in is the new favorite one, and it's just like that's what we're doing here. And I think, do you know what? Yes, too many titles. If you had everyone competing on every show to be involved in a title segment or story, then it would make sense.
Yeah.
But you don't have enough hours of television weekly that's going to help benefit these titles and benefit the building of these titles and the building of new superstars. So I think that's the problem that we have here.
This title, the winner is going to win it in a battle royal. Like, they're going to put on a battle royal at Full Gear, I think is the next event. And the winner of the battle royal, the casino battle royal, becomes the national champion. Like, what an unflattering way to launch a brand new title. Is this supposed to be prestigious? Like, we'll just throw a man over the top rope and win the title. Like, it's an easy way to crown somebody, but it already kind of sets a precedence, you know, of like, what is this? And there's the whole argument now that a lot of people are coming out with that they're stealing this belt because NWA, this is an NWA title, the national title. And people are saying they're stealing the legacy and all of that kind of stuff. Although they did pay homage to the legacy on the broadcast, but I just don't understand the need. No. Is there an actual need for this championship? Like, this would have worked better since Mercedes Moné wants to hold the TBS title hostage. This would have even maybe worked better as a women's second mid-card title. Like I would have rather you guys done that than you come and give it to the men again.
Do you know what? I've spoken some positive things about AEW recently, which would have shocked a lot of people. But I don't know, man. Like I said, I think they've booked themselves into a corner. They've taken away the importance of the rest. They're taking away the importance of the rest of their titles. I think that's what they've done. Like, it's really started to. I think it's really going to start hurting them in the long run. But sticking on the subject of AEW, moving across to the women's division. Some people have got themselves in some hot water within the wrestling industry and been handed their P45s over the past couple of days. Let's get into that. Nixon Yule, formerly known as Tegan Knox and her partner.
Before you get into the story, I don't even know if you can get handed a P45 without actually being part of the company.
Yeah.
They weren't even under contract. So do you still get a P45 when you're not under contract?
No, I think it's they get the Future Endeavors email.
Yeah, that one.
And I think here's my problem with it. You leave a company moaning about your booking, moaning about you're not getting TV time. I understand that her problem was it was 3 minutes the match was going to be. You cannot expect to be taking huge chunks of TV time up when you're not even signed to the company.
Bro,
that is my problem with it.
Can you imagine the audacity of and I mean this respectfully, but let's be honest, let's call a spade a spade. Can you imagine the audacity of an enhancement talent telling someone that's not gonna work for me, brother? I need more time to lose. What are we doing here? Like, this is a woman that has recently come out on social media complaining that since she's been a free agent, she's had a lack of rings on her phone. People are not calling her. People are not emailing her, and she's wondering why. Since then, because business was down, she's opened up her OnlyFans. And I'm not here judging that. People need to get paid and get money. I'm sure she's got bills to pay. But like, now that you've got the opportunity of your career in your profession, you can do it alongside your girlfriend. You've come in, you lost last week, whatever, and now you've got another opportunity against people that are AEW originals. Yeah, you're saying that you don't want to lose, or the match isn't long enough, and you're kicking up a fuss and you're walking out. You've been begging, crying, making videos on social media for this opportunity, and this is how you chose to handle it. Like, does she not see how replaceable anyone is? Her and her girlfriend walked out, and I'm not putting this all on Nixon Yule. She's just obviously the known one, more popular one of the two. Her and her girlfriend walked out, and they replaced them instantly with Maya World and what's her face? Hi, I can't remember her name. They replaced them instantly.
Yeah.
Like, everyone is just a toy, as we're using the toy analogy today. Everyone is just a toy that, you don't want to come? All right, boom, where's the next toy? Like, you're not special. Respectfully, you're not special. You're just a piece of the puzzle, and a replaceable piece, clearly. Like, why have you done this? You wanted this opportunity, and now this is what you chose to do. Like, it's crazy to me. It's bonkers. Like, and someone that's just brought in to do a job, and hopefully you keep being used. And the most surprising thing to me out of all of this, right? AEW are in the midst of building a women's tag division. Like, so didn't you think your opportunity is going to come? You and your girlfriend, your opportunity is 100% going to come. They're building this division, and you guys have landed in there at a very good time. And now you've done this. It's bonkers behavior. I'm sorry. It's crazy.
Do you know what? I think I've got to look at the way like things have gone with Rich Holland. And I make a comparison there because it's like Rich Holland was on his way out of a company and he chose to speak his mind. And I look at Nixon Yule, and she was just starting to make her way into or around another company, and she's completely burnt that bridge. They've completely burnt that bridge now. Like, imagine you're TNA. You're not going to want to go near them. You're not going to be going back to WWE now. And I think that's the sad thing here, because I don't think she's bad in ring, and I think that, like, you've now not only shot yourself in the foot, like you've both shot yourselves in the foot collectively. Like you said, there was the tag team. There's a lot going on in AEW in the women's division regarding tag team. They've got the tag team titles and the tournaments going on, and I think it's really now. I think it's left a sour taste in a lot of people's mouth, because, like, back onto the subject of Rich Holland, like I was just talking about, he's someone who suffered an injury working for another company whilst working with WWE. Spoke his mind, was then released. Completely moved to the alumni page. And I think in that instance, you should be able to speak your mind. I'm a very big Rich Holland fan. I think he's gotten a lot of stick over the years. Obviously, the stuff that happened with Ridge and Big E, I think a lot of people just kept that next to him, which I think is very. And I think you see how he speaks about it in interviews, and he's someone who you can tell that it did affect him. It did, like, no one can say it didn't. It wouldn't affect them, because it really did. And I think you look at that, where someone is, like I said, on the way out of a company, is now looking for work, has had to put up a funding page to get help from other people, because he's not currently able to work. You're in working condition. You're being booked as a freelancer. You could then essentially build that up into a long-standing partnership, which then could lead you to getting signed by the company. And you say, no, 3 minutes ain't good enough. I'm out of it. It's embarrassing. I'll be honest, bro. It's embarrassing. Imagine me walking into my work and we going, like, I'm logging on in the morning. My boss says morning to me. I'm like, you know what? Today ain't gonna work for me. You know. What?
See ya.
Fuck?
That's all it is. It's see ya, bro.
Just logging off with that. Oh man, I think, I think a lot of these men and women need to, like, remember how lucky they are, and I think there's so many spots out there. There are so many wrestlers internationally now that can be in these spots. And like you said, they were replaced very quickly. They are not Sasha Banks and Naomi in WWE. Don't be trying to play that card off, because we've done this story already. And even in their instance, that plan backfired. That plan did backfire for the pair of them. So I think if you're going to be making these plays in life, I'm betting on yourself. You've got to have something to bet towards. And I don't really feel like they thought this out in the long run. I think it was a very in the moment decision. And I don't want to spend too much longer on this, because I don't feel like it's like something that needs to be spoken about deeply. But yeah, if I'm them, I'm going to be looking at Twitter today and thinking to myself, what the hell have I done?
Yeah. Like you said, it's more than them walking away from AEW in that manner. TNA will be watching. WWE will be watching. Those are the other big boys they have left to play with, because, again, I don't mean to, kick someone when they're down. The indies haven't been calling them. They haven't been calling them. Like, so it's like, it's the big boys that where it matters, they're gonna see this and be like, you're proving difficult to work with, you know. And especially when you're someone like Nixon Newell that's had a litany, a history and a litany of knee injuries. Like, take a job. Well, firstly, work your way into the position to get a contract. Take the job, and I don't want to just say sit there if they're not going to use you, because of course everyone wants to be booked and everyone wants to be used, but you've lost a lot of time in wrestling, and a lot of people have surpassed you because of your injuries and stuff. So call somewhere home. Go into somewhere. Be humble. Call it home. You know, do whatever it takes to build up. Like I said, you're in a place that is trying to establish a AEW Women's Tag Team Championship. They haven't even crowned the first champion yet. You've missed out on the tournament, fair, but you never know. You keep turning up and doing these little jobs now. The minute a champion is created, you and your girlfriend could be the first people to go after the champions. It may be a losing effort, but it might get you on Dynamite. It might get you a contract. You see what I mean? They have Dynamite, they have Collision, they've got Ring of Honor, which maybe eventually you could say, even if they fall down to Ring of Honor but get constant work on Ring of Honor, they're signed talents. Like, the short-sightedness of this is incredible, by people that have literally recently been complaining they don't get booked. and then when you're getting booked, this is what you are doing. I would not
It's
book you.
nuts. It's insanity, to be honest with you,
It's
bro.
honestly insanity, bro. Like it's like complaining for so long. I can't get a job. I can't get a job. I can't get a job. And then when you get a job, you blow it up on day 2 going into work.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy, like just for nonsense reasons. And I mean, you brought up Ridge Holland. Let's talk about Ridge Holland. His issue ultimately was, which I think he's realized straight away and he's held his hands up for, was they've told you, let's say, I don't know the date, but let's say they've told you 30th of November, your contract ends. We're not renewing your contract, right? He has given a scenario, and I can't blame him for this. I understand this. He has lost his head. That's the only way to put it. He has seen red and he's lost his head and he's been a bit emotional and he's come online and he said some shit about WWE and he has forgotten his contract is up on the 30th of November. He is still under contract.
Yeah.
And now you're still actually under contract, although they're not renewing you, you are still under contract and you're talking crap about your employer. Hence why they just released him.
Yeah.
Well, if that's what you want to talk about, that's where you want to be, just go. Release, done, sort of thing. So it's harsh from WWE. We've said from day one, the whole thing with WWE and Ridge Holland has been very, very harsh. But wrestlers need to remember, man, like, there's a code of conduct. I know this is a very kind of different work setting, but it's a work setting nonetheless. Like, you are just a number. You have to play the game, sort of thing. Ridge Holland could have stayed quiet till the end of November and then come out with his YouTube channel, come out with his interviews and all of that kind of stuff. Because at the end of the day, if he wants to continue wrestling, WWE is still the North Star. WWE is still where he wants to get back to. But when you come out and you're a bit emotional and all of this stuff, which I can understand, but you've forgotten who you're upsetting. Yeah. Probably one of the most pettiest companies in the world with that as well.
Yeah.
Like, so it's he's had a moment. He's lost his head. It's worked against him. Obviously, people are pulling together now trying to do what they can for him and his family. I think he launched a YouTube channel. He's got some videos on there or some stuff he's talking about right now. All the best to him, and hopefully he lands on his feet. But I just think in general, man, everyone just needs to, as we say in football, take a touch.
Yeah.
Relax. Take a touch. Like, just think before you speak, before you act. Take a touch and relax. Show some composure. But right now, it's going absolutely mental.
Yeah. I don't know if you want to go to the comments or anything, Mekz, if people have had anything to say today regarding this stuff. Because I know there's my opinion on Ridge Holland is split a lot of the group chat. Like, I think he is someone who was given a lot of negative press for one mistake he made. And I think the thing that has been the eye-opening part of all of this is how much everyone's rallied together for him. And I think that's what we need to remember is Ridge Holland has done it from a human place, whereas like the way in which you're at somewhere where you're essentially being paid to do a job and then you say, no, 3 minutes isn't good enough for me, I'm out of here. And they don't even let the door slam before you're being released. I think that's the difference for me here. It's just like, yeah, it leaves a sour taste for me because it's like I'm looking at someone like Ridge Holland who can't wrestle for a while because of his injury, and he had his injury whilst performing for TNA. I think that's the sour part here, where it's just like someone like you said, like Nixon Newell, who suffered from knee injuries time and time again. You're in a place where you've complained about not having work, you've got work, and now you've literally thrown it all down the pan. Like, I don't think anyone's going to be booking her now.
She literally, no, excuse the pun, lit dynamite and threw it up like TNT, 100%. Like, blew up the place.
TNT, no title.
Yeah, with no title attached. It's crazy. Let me ask you something about Ridge Holland, right?
Yeah.
And this isn't me digging out a guy. I'm just want to see where your thoughts on this, your opinion. So Ridge Holland was obviously on the main roster. He has said when they moved him from main roster down to Evolve, beyond NXT Evolve, obviously that comes with a pay cut. He took a pay cut of nearly 200 grand.
That's nuts,
to basically remain in the WWE. So I'm assuming, main roster, they say you get about 300k a year. NXT, if you're a top NXT talent, you're probably on about 100 to 125 a year, right? I guess with his ability, his experience and stuff, that's probably why they moved him down to 100 grand. Even though he's not an NXT like main eventer, but his experience. And he said that he knew the writing was on the wall when they moved him from main roster to Evolve, and he's taking a 200 grand pay cut. At what point financially do alarm bells start ringing? Because if you know you've taken a 200 grand pay cut, you're saying the writing's on the wall for me, because why the hell would they move me so far to their developmental products just to be putting people over? It's hard, but like, do you have to prepare yourself for this? Like, because obviously now we're seeing the GoFundMe's and all of this kind of stuff. Did he prepare himself for this? Did you, like, at what point do you have to kind of start putting away the money because like this is going tits up?
I think it's hard for him because I think he's got 3 kids. He's got family, and I think like you're someone who could probably resonate that far more than I can. And it's just like when you have kids and you've got a wife and you've got a mortgage to pay for and you've got all of these things to do, it's like how much money can you realistically put away a month? And I think that's the crazy thing is like when you're also taking a 200 grand pay cut, and let's be real, there wasn't that much time from him being on the main roster to him being involved. It was a very quick, he had that moment where he injured, I can't remember who it was on NXT, but he injured someone on NXT. It was like a storyline. It was almost like they were playing off. Yeah. And it was almost like they were playing off the stuff that happened with Big E previously. And I think it wasn't a good storyline to do. I think it left the sour taste in a lot of people's mind. And I don't think that's his fault. And I think he was someone who, even when he went to Evolve, like he was doing stuff with TNA. He's like he was doing essentially what he could. And I think when the alarm bells start ringing, it's just like I think he could kind of see it coming as well, because he started doing stuff like the online training with people, like the personal training, and he's someone who has been in sports for most of his life. Used to play rugby. Do you know what I mean? So this isn't something that's new to him. The thing that I will say is I think he got given the short straw. I think as soon as they broke up the Brawling Brutes, I think he just got given the short straw, because it was almost like he went on this massive decline quickly. And I think he couldn't recover from it. And I don't think that's any part of his own. And then to get injured in the way that he did working for TNA, like I said, I think that for me would have just put like, the thing is, it's different because he's living in the US as well. So we can try and like the taxes and everything else is just going to be completely different. And, you know, like the state, I think the biggest cost that a lot of people don't realize is to stay in shape like these guys do. Like to be able to go and train all the time, the supplements, the coaches, the recovery, everything. So I think it's a very like pricey, like it's a pricey industry to be part of.
Yeah.
And a lot of these NXT guys, like they're paying for a lot of their own travel as well, aren't they? They're not all having their travel paid for. So I think when you take all of those things into consideration, and him being a father and having the mortgage to pay for, that's why for me, it just leaves a sour taste in my mouth from the WWE side, man. It's just like, this man's got a mortgage to pay for. He's got kids. He's been injured working under your partnership with TNA, and it's essentially just they've hung him up to dry almost. I know what he said was like could have been said in a different way, but yeah, man, I was not happy with the way they acted, because it's like you're seeing AEW stars that have probably never even met Rich Holland putting money up to help him.
Yeah,
I think that's the sad thing. It's just like, but from the other side of that, it's a positive thing that you can see that a lot of these wrestlers, men and women, are sort of all gathering together and helping him. So I think that is the one positive note to take from this. It's just like, as much as a lot of people always pit AEW against WWE, there was superstars from around the world that I've seen they've donated to that as well.
Donated, yeah, man. All the best. Hopefully he lands on his feet. I think it's just one of them ones where he's been very unfortunate. WWE have been very unkind. They probably can't or look into his whole, you've got a family, you've got kids. Like, that's from a business point of view, that's not their problem. But
Yeah.
someone being injured because you sent them elsewhere, that's definitely on you. Like that's definitely on you to do a bit more and look after him. And like we're saying, what would it have costed the WWE to keep his 100 grand a year contract going for another 6 months? Like they could literally even have a clause with him. The minute a doctor says that you are medically fit to compete, we are releasing you.
Yeah.
And that sounds harsh, but that would have been even a kind of more moral thing to do. You know, we'll keep paying you. Obviously, we're paying for your recovery anyway, but we keep paying you until you are medically fit, and then you leave. And I'm sure he would have taken that because at least then he could have walked out and gone find a job elsewhere. Um, but yeah, it's hopefully he lands on his feet with everything he's trying to do now.
Yeah, man. And just to finish off on a bit more of a positive note, Mekz, I've got a little game for us to play today.
Let's.
Right. Who do we think will end 2025 as the champions within WWE? So obviously, do you feel like Cody Rhodes? First of all, we'll go to the Universal title. Will Cody Rhodes end 2025 as Universal Champion?
I want to stick my neck out here and say no.
Bro, I'm gonna say no as well.
Okay, good.
Just because oh my god, this is. Do you know what it is? I'm bored of Cody Rhodes. I'll be honest. I'm very much. I think he is the quarterback, but I think I'm very much bored of what he's doing now. Turn the guy heel, have him go on a little heelish run. Then we move over to the World Heavyweight Championship. Do we feel like CM Punk will end 2025 as champion?
Yes, I do think he will.
I was actually shocked that he won it in the way that he did. But that's another chat for another day. Intercontinental champion Dominic Mysterio, the king of the luchadors, as he likes to call himself. Do you think he ends the year as Intercontinental champion, bro?
Eddie Guerrero's first son.
Keep my dad's name out your mouth.
You know, talking smack about my dad. I will say no. If the plan is, as reported, to get to do John Cena versus Dom Mysterio at Survivor Series, I'll say no for now.
I want to say no, but my heart and my soul is very much invested in the product. So I think if they don't do that, if they don't do the Cena Survivor Series match, I think he ends the year as Intercontinental champion. I think he's such a great heel champion. So on to the United States side of things.
Ilya.
Bro, do you know what? I just want to say this on Ilya. The geezer's put on about 20 kilo of muscle since he's gone away.
He is mental. That guy's honestly mental. Yeah, I'm gonna say he's gonna keep it till the end of the year.
I think if the only way for Ilya to lose that title is if they call up Obafemi as part of this Open challenge and they have Obafemi defeat Ilya. I think that's the only way. I would love for that to happen, though. We're both spoken very highly about Obafemi time and time again. I could even add Trick Williams to that. If you're going to send Trick Williams up in a way to sort of have him cement his space very quickly, call him up, win a title in a heelish manner, people start booing him.
Yeah, that could be good.
Onto the men's tag team titles. How do we think things are going to go with the men's tag team titles?
So which one? The Raw one or
the Raw? So it's AJ and Dragon Lee currently.
Who have they been feuding with?
Judgment Day.
Judgment Day. Yeah, they're going to end the year as tag team champions.
I don't think they do. I think they're going to give him back to Judgment Day.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I know. Another one defense every 6 months type of thing.
Yeah, nonsense.
And onto the SmackDown tag team titles, which I think I forgot they were even on the show.
The Wyatt Six.
The Wyatt Six. They did this face-off with the MFTs.
I think they lose them before the end of the year.
Yeah, and I think they lose them to the MFTs.
Yeah, sounds about right.
On to the women's side of things. Women's world champion. Do you believe?
Women's World Champion. That's Stephanie's belt, right? Stephanie Leclerc.
Yeah.
She's keeping that.
You think she's keeping it?
Yeah,
I think I think she keeps it. On to the next one straight away. I do not think they take that title for Jade Cargill for a while.
No,
straight away, I'm going to say it.
Jade Cargill's good for about 4 or 5 months at this point. Like,
yeah. Next one is the United States Women's title, which only recently changed hands this week.
Chelsea Green.
Oh, bro, do you know what? Very quickly, yeah. Chelsea Green's amazing, bro.
Chelsea Green is loving it. I was so happy she won that back.
I was shocked in a good way, and I was happy. I was like, yeah, good. And do you know what was great? The whole thing with Ethan Page about it as well. I think do you know what I was saying to my boy when I was watching it? I was like, Mekz called this about a month ago, 6 weeks ago.
They had to. Like, it just makes sense. Yeah, Chelsea Green. The thing is, because she's Chelsea Green, she could lose that next week. But yeah, I'll say that she held it to the end of the year. Yeah.
And on to the women's intercontinental title, the man Becky Lynch. Do you think she ends the year as champion?
Yes. She's gonna beat Maxine. Her and Maxine are gonna have an actual match at some point, and she will have an actual finish of beating Maxine to put Maxine to rest. And yeah, I can't really see another competitor right now. So yeah, she keeps it at the end of the year as well.
Me too, man. I think I've loved the stuff of her sort of becoming this angry wife, defending her man in Rollins, which has been great. Like the stuff that she's done with Paul Heyman, I thought was amazing. I've enjoyed the stuff she's done with Maxine as well. But onto the women's tag team titles, man. Do you think that Charlotte and Alexa end 2025 as a women's tag team champions?
No.
You know who I wanted. You know who I wanted to be. I said it earlier on the podcast.
Nia and Lash. I like. It's the funny thing is, like, who else is there? Like,
yeah,
I don't actually know who else is there, but like, I don't know. I don't know who's gonna beat them, but I don't think they'll end it as tag team champions. Let's put it that way.
For me, it's got to be Lash and Nia, and it's not like Lash and Nia, Kabuki Warriors will win them.
Yes, that's maybe.
Yeah.
That's maybe, yeah.
Basically, there's no hope for Charlotte and Alexa. That's what me and Mekz are trying to say.
Yeah. I think they've done well. I think it's done really well to kind of re-image Charlotte's character. But yeah, I just don't think they're already now, I think, the longest reigning women's tag champions. And with the most defenses, either that or the most defenses they've had. So yeah, how much longer are you going to keep it going? If not the Kabuki Warriors or Lash and Nia Jax, they should just lose it to someone in NXT.
Yeah,
keep the belt moving.
I won't make you go through the NXT ones. We'll save that for another episode next. And if we were doing the AEW one, that would be another hour worth of. That'll be another hour.
We'll forget belts. We would forget belts in between.
But I'm going to say it comfortably. I'm going to be honest. If it was AEW, I would have to get a list right now beforehand.
Quick Google.
Who is the champion? And more importantly, what is the title called?
What is the title
change name every 3 to 4 weeks.
Honestly, it's a crazy world. But we've got some good stuff this week, I think, to look forward to. The John Cena Last Time Is Now tournament is officially kicking off, so that will be very interesting. We've got the likes of CM Punk, new World Heavyweight Champion, and obviously who he's been mingling with, Jey Uso and Vision and all of that kind of stuff. We're building towards, obviously, War Games, which they have to announce fairly soon, and people are expecting to see, certain people like Logan Paul take shape.
3 weeks left, right?
Yeah, something like that. People are thinking of Logan Paul. People are thinking of what's his face, Brock Lesnar. So there's a couple of names there that we'll, can see moving forward. I think we've got a last man standing match on NXT this week.
Yeah.
With Ricky Starks and Trick Williams. Yeah, Ricky Saints and Trick Williams. I think that could pretty much be Trick Williams' swan song in NXT. If he loses that, he's done. Send him up. yeah, there's a lot of good stuff to look forward to. I think coming up, Blood and Guts, I think, is this week from AEW, which will be bloody and gory and violent as ever. And they've got their first ever women's one. The whole world is wondering, is Mercedes Monet, Princess Mercedes, is she gonna bleed? Like, so we're gonna find out. So yeah, man, I'm intrigued by next week's action, and of course we'll be here next Sunday to talk about it all again.
Yeah, man. Thanks as always, Mekz, for having me on, bro. It's always enjoyable. People can find me on my socials, Deltethic. If you don't like any of my opinions, please send me a DM. Please reply to our videos, and we'll speak about your comments in the next episode. Because, yeah, I know I sometimes say things like that. My opinion of Joe Hendry seems to be riling up a lot of my group chat at the moment. So there's probably a few of the guys that are listening to this saying, "Yeah, we knew you hated Joe Hendry already," but yeah, man,
Mate,
that's just
I'm
the
not
way it is.
I'm not excited. I don't believe in
Yeah,
Joe
that's
Hendry.
exactly what I was gonna say.
I don't believe we've listened. The wrestling have had their fun with Joe Hendry. If we
Yeah.
take this guy into 2026, we've all got an issue. Like, let's call it a day. Let's wrap it up, right? But
Wrap it up with him jumping out of a cake with Thea Hell. I think that is it.
it's done. But yeah, we very well might be sitting here next week, Sunday, talking about Joe Hendry turning up against LA Knight on SmackDown in this last time is now tournament. So we'll talk about one of our favorite wrestlers next week. Who knows? But yeah, I've been Mekz, WrestleManiac UK. This has been the Ring Report. Like I say, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and of course, you can get this on your podcast platform of choice as well. Guys, we'll see you next week.